Have you been to the area's premier radio-controlled hobby shop and raceway? Underground Raceway and Hobbies in Great Northern Mall has 2 indoor tracks for racing at every experience level. Don't have your own car? No problem. You can rent one from us. When you're ready to get your own, we've got an on-site hobby shop with everything you need, including all the popular brands. Underground Raceway and Hobbies has kits for land, sea, and air. Cars, boats, planes, you name it. Come see us next to Dick's in the Great Northern Mall in Clay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MotoOption Supercross. From Mattawan, Michigan, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, number 78, Jacob Hubbard. Out of Marmora, New Jersey, riding for Heckman Productions SYS Racing, number 4, Jeremy Smith. From Oslo, Norway, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, number 3, Dennis Fjellberg. From Shawnigan Lake, Canada, riding for Panini Motorsports, number 24, Colby Eaglin. From Watkins Glen, New York, riding for Underground RC, number 26, Braden Castellaneta. From Tampa, Florida, riding for Underground RC, number 5, Tyler Lang. From Warner Robins, Georgia, riding for Panini Motorsports, 2020 Supercross champion, number 18, Jeremy Siebold. From Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, riding for Adept Creative Co., number 16, Logan Leitzel. From France, riding for Safe Moon, 2018 Supercross champion, number 7, Alexis Leclerc. all eyes on this lead battle, though. I don't think anybody else wants to see anything other than Carter versus Leclerc.
Kind of show him he's there without killing himself.
They get together,
kills him.
and Carter takes the lead. Braden Carter brings it home to win the Anaheim opener in 2022. From Costa Mesa, California, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, your defending Supercross champion and current points leader, number 1, Braden Carter. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round 2 of the 2022 MotoOption Supercross Series live here on Start Your Systems. My name is Kellen Brower, and tonight we are in Oakland for the second round of this 17-round championship. A fantastic opening round a week ago at Anaheim. There was a lot of highs and lows, some guys not making main events, a great battle for the lead in the 450 main event as well, and a comeback story a little bit as well with Luke Sullivan coming back to win that 250 main event from a first-turn crash. So that was great to see out of Sullivan. And we got another great night of racing on the docket here for you guys. Hopefully you guys are revved up and ready to go racing. Round 2 in Oakland. We also have a really unique track here tonight, and we're going to go ahead and bring in our own Alex Heckman here in just a moment to discuss the track. And let's get into it right now, actually. Let's get old Alex Heckman on the line and talk to Mr. Heckman. How are you doing tonight, buddy? Give us a little bit of a kind of viewpoint from your side. You just did qualifying there tonight. What's the track looking like? What do you think is going to be the turning points out there? And you know, if you can, kind of highlight maybe where some racing lines are going to develop.
Yeah, so I'm feeling a lot better than I was last week. Track's a little more, it flows together a little bit better than the last, than A1 did, in my opinion anyways. The jumps do feel a little smaller than normal, which makes the lines a little more challenging, but at the same time it makes them forgiving, so if you make a mistake, you can recover and still not lose a ton of time. So because of that, I feel like qualifying times are really close, and they're going to be a couple key sections that will separate people. I do 250s, so I'm not super aware of what they're doing in the 450s. I know they're doing a couple different lines, but for a 250, one of the most key spots on the track, I feel like, is there's a big double back across the starting line. If you do not get a good run out of that corner, you will case that double and you will crash.
Yeah,
it happened to me many times in qualifying. So,
it definitely was tricky to get that big double and get the drive like you're saying. I wanted to actually ask you your thoughts on the 2 rhythm sections, because it seems like that's going to be a talking point throughout the night. What on a 250 are you kind of feasibly able to do consistently versus maybe the lines you're hitting in qualifying?
So those rhythms are actually really challenging on a 250. What I was doing in the first one was on, off, and then you have to triple after that. And that was actually a pretty challenging triple. If you can get that clean, then it's really easy to triple on the table, off into the corner. The 450s, I heard Ethan talking about how some people were going over the table and then triple, and then I think he said there was a quad in there as well. Mm-hmm. I can't confirm that. The second rhythm, pretty much everyone that I know of is doubling in. And then triple, double is definitely the main line. You might see a triple in from a 450 here or there, but I didn't see it personally. So,
all right. Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you, Alex Heckman, for our little pre-race support, courtesy of Heckman Productions. Good luck in your racing tonight, buddy, and we'll check back with you in a little bit later.
Sounds great. Thank you. I'll do my best.
All right, thanks so much, Alex. Let's get to our qualifying times here tonight as we take a look at the 450 qualifying to start. Payson Johnson, fastest qualifier here tonight on a 57 flat, just about 6/10, almost 6/10 faster than Colby Eagland, Logan Leitzel, Jack Haley, Jacob Hubbard inside that top 5. What you'll notice is that we do not have Alexis Leclerc or our reigning champion, Braden Carter, in that front group. Did I miss and skip over Carter, or are we not seeing him in the Fast 40 just yet? I actually do not see Carter on this list. That'll be interesting if Carter's not here tonight. Taking a look at the 250 class, though, Luke Sullivan, fastest. Of course, he comes in with the red plate championship leader coming into this round, but just by a nose gets ahead of Rasmus Balzer, Seth Shirley, Lucas Schwardner, Holden Cote inside the top 5. So that'll be interesting if we have no Carter here tonight. 250 class, obviously a little bit more wide open. We can actually take a quick look at those 250 standings. Sullivan, Vanderbeek, Shirley, Cochran, Balzer, top 5 last time out. But of course, there's some heavy hitters that didn't have the best of nights. Jet Holyhead was fastest qualifier last week. He ends up 9th. Lucas Schwardner, he's right in the mix with qualifying tonight. He was 10th last week. Big names in this 250 class trying to make a dent early in this championship as we look at the 450 standings. Of course, Carter is right there at the front after winning last week. Tyler Shields gets 2nd and Alexis Leclerc in 3rd. Both are on new teams this week. Tyler Shields was on Stuhlben last week. This week he will be on Filski and Snowboard. And Alexis Leclerc, who was on the 2.7 / Rockstar Energy Husqvarna program last week, is now aboard Panini Motorsports. So we're going to see a new look out of Leclerc, and we're going to see a new look out of Shields. So keep an eye on that as we get ready to drop the gate here in just a moment. It looks like UIDs have been grabbed. We're now just waiting for things to kick back in the server here a little bit. And while we're sitting here, actually, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I've got this lovely thing dialed in, trying to keep you guys a little bit more up to date on what race is actually on the track this time out. So there we go. 250 Heat 1 coming up first, so we'll have that little display in the top of the screen. I guess while we're waiting, though, we can go ahead and take a look at the track again, just to kind of highlight some of the things that Heckman was talking about in that little pre-race report. But as we come down into this little first corner, it's actually a tricky little like tabletop out of this first corner. I actually think that this is going to be a big problem for some pileups tonight, because guys are not going to know whether to triple down to the backside of this out of the first corner, or check up and double and maybe triple single into the next corner. We'll see how it plays out, but it could be one of those situations where the guys on the outside and the guy on the inside have two different philosophies on how they're going to attack the first section. Might make for a little bit of interesting chaos at the beginning of these races. But as we go through this corner right here, we're going to flow through this sand section back across the start straight. There's a couple different options here as well. I go roll, double, triple into this corner, but you can kind of also treat it like a little bit of a dragon's back. Here is that first tricky rhythm section, though. On, off, triple, triple, on, off. If you can, it went a little bit over right there. But then Heckman was saying out of this corner, you double in and then triple right there, and then triple again, double into the next corner. Definitely one of those lines that if you can get it consistently, going to be great. But the way that these rhythm lanes have been kind of built out this week, it actually has a little bit less pop in each jump than we saw at the Anaheim opener. Not sure if that was a like a collective thing that the RF crew decided to agree upon to actually build this week, a little bit kind of lower scale, perhaps to mimic the Oakland style of dirt. Oh, looks like we're dealing with a little bit of server issues right now, so we're just kind of waiting it out a little bit. So some server issues that we're working through. I do have my Discord open, so if anything goes awry, I usually get an update from Mr. Jeremy Cohenauer. Oop, not good in the whoops right there. But yeah, the rhythm lanes, both rhythm lanes this week have very kind of ramped out jumps. Definitely not as poppy as the opening round. Like I said, Oakland dirt usually is maybe a little bit softer than most of the West Coast rounds. Usually when we get to the East Coast, that dirt cups out a little bit more. But if you've ever seen the Oakland Supercross in person or on TV, you've seen in the past that the jumps do get kind of beat down a little bit. Ruts get formed in them. So interesting to see that the track crew decided to kind of flatten out the jumps this week a little bit, perhaps on purpose to kind of mimic that style with the Oakland dirt, but definitely going to make it a little bit tougher this week to get these rhythm lines down consistently, because even myself trying to get some of these, not doing the best job showing it off, but you know, we're trying. We're out here. Oh, they have an issue with qualifying. So times, yeah, I guess they were not updating, obviously, with Carter not in the mix. Not sure what that was all about, but we're just trying to get those qualifying times sorted out, and we'll get racing here shortly. So in the meantime, I'll just keep trying to entertain you guys, show off the track a little bit here, maybe talk through some of my thought process in hitting each line on this track. Of course, I'm on a 450 right now, so 250 riders may be hitting this a little bit differently. For myself, I'm always first gear in the whoops. Sometimes guys go all the way up to fourth or fifth gear in the whoops, but I've just never been someone that's comfortable doing that. Through this first little rhythm lane, though, I tend to go inside and then kind of triple through that first section. This set of whoops is pretty small, so it's pretty easy to kind of get in and out of them pretty quick. Finish line jump, second gear, just a quick little pop, kind of a scrub whip over that. Inside in the sand or outside, both are actually pretty viable options. It'll be interesting to see how guys kind of develop through that sand section throughout the night. It's my line through right there, like I said, and then through here you want to go step on, step off, and then kind of keep your momentum low to the ground through here, triple on off. And then I believe the 450 guys are actually going to be tripling out of this corner, but I'm not sure what they're going to do after that. There might be something that they're going to try to quad in there, but that first lip might not be big enough to do it. We'll see how it plays out as we have Tyler Lang on the gate now. So T. Lang might show us a couple laps around this track. So get ready to drop the gate here shortly. They're starting to figure out UID grab. Or maybe they're not. We'll see. But T. Lang is not going to do some laps, so I'll just keep doing some laps. Talk you guys through it. If we have any interesting questions that you guys wanted to discuss in the chat right now, would be a good time to do so. Not often we have a brief delay at the start of the stream, so trying to keep you guys entertained here before we get racing started on the evening. But that is good news that, well, not good news that there is a glitch with the qualifying, but in some ways it's good news because it was curious not to see Braden Carter on that list, but it does sound like Carter is actually here tonight, and the times just haven't been updated to reflect that. So it'll be good to see Carter actually racing tonight with those red plates in the 450 class. Ooh, little short right there. How much has Leclerc changed over the years? Gosh, I don't know. He's always been blazing fast. I will say the key difference to Leclerc from when I raced him, which was back in like 2013, 2014, to what he does now, is he's just that much more like stylish. Back then, when we raced him, we kind of called him straight air Leclerc, and it wasn't trying to be mean. It was just because he was very methodical about how he hit sections. He wasn't scrubbing. He didn't throw whips. He just went as fast as he could everywhere he possibly could. Nowadays, though, he's definitely got a much better style about him. He does throw some good whips. He scrubs jumps really well. His corner speed has always been ridiculous. But I would actually say that he's developed into less of a hot lapper and more of just a well-rounded rider that has everything. He's got great starts. He's able to run quick laps in qualifying, but he used to top qualifying all the time like it was no problem. And now it's usually pretty customary to see him not top qualifying. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely changed a little bit over the years, but he's just always been really damn good at this game. And even back when I was competitive in this game, he was really tough to beat as well. What else we got? How is Jack in the Box my top 5? It just is. I like it. I'm from around here. I will say, for anybody that doesn't know what that is, there was just Steve Mathis and myself and Chris Betts and Jason Thomas are in a text group. They were asking what your top 5 favorite fast food joints are, and then they added a bunch of qualifiers. It has to be a place that regularly has drive-throughs. So even if your Five Guys has the one drive-through in America, we couldn't even include Five Guys. So Chipotle was out, Jersey Mike's was out, Firehouse Subs was out. A place that I really like in California called Rubio's, they're out. A lot of places that I probably would have put in my top 5. But yeah, Jack in the Box ended up in my top 5. Whatever. Who cares? Let's see what else we got in chat. How do I get the shadows to look as good as this? Well, you could use shaders. I have shaders on. That's one way to start. But also use, the high resolution track and objects pack will definitely help with showing off kind of more effects that the track has to offer. But definitely shaders helps a lot with that. Let's see. When did Hunter Root and Tyson Fresquez stop playing? Hunter Root actually still plays. He actually raced A1 last week. He might be here tonight, but he doesn't play frequently. Tyson retired 3 years ago now. He tried to defend his 2018 title. His 2017 title in 2018 didn't go well, and we haven't seen him since. So, yeah. Is Leclerc still in my top 10? 100%. Yeah, I would say he's probably second on my list now. And yeah, definitely in my top 10. What year of RF tracks were the best? Tough question. Really tough question. I think the last year before a road was probably my favorite. I don't mind the road system, but I preferred it when it wasn't around. So I would say probably 16 or 17. I liked the tracks the best, but that was also my last year racing competitively. So I was maybe a little bit more biased towards that. But yeah, those are good tracks. These are good tracks too. I don't mind them. I just don't gel as well with the road system. Thoughts on the Mookie and Marv drama after A1? Yeah, I mean, I talked about it in my review video, so I'm not going to hit on it too much. Personally, I don't think that they're either past that Barsha made on Anderson or Marv made on Stewart were as bad as people are making it out to be. Marvin's was a dumb, like ill-informed move, but I don't know. People are making it seem like Marvin's block pass was the dirtiest in the history of Supercross, and I personally am just not there. Let's see what else we got. Who's my favorite MX Bikes Pro rider? All of my teammates are my favorite riders. Probably Hemi, right? Because he's our reigning champion in the 250 class. Who's my number one? I still put Tyson Fresquez number one all-time in MX Simulator. The talent that he beat over the years, winning in basically like 2 different generations of the game, was incredible. So, but Leclerc is close for sure. Ooh, Carter actually didn't qualify is what we're hearing in chat. That's interesting. Wow. Yeah, I mean, if Ariel wants me to stream in MX Bikes, I would be open to it. Unfortunately, Fridays are the worst for me. You know, like this Friday, for example, I'll be in Oakland on Friday night, so I definitely wouldn't be able to stream Ariel. But, you know, it's when they run the races. So if I can't make all 17, someone who can make all 17 should probably stream the races, at least in my opinion. All right, thanks for all of that, you guys. Let's get ready to drop the gate, folks. It's time to go 250 West Heat Race action right now in Oakland. Wow, there's actually a lot of atom.com riders right in the mix into the first corner, but out of the mix, Johan Bordeaux, I believe, officially gets the whole shot. Ryan Pinkerton on the 58, going to be right to the outside of him as there's some bar banging going into that second corner. So it's Bordeaux leading after lap number 1, or half a lap, but lap 1 in the books. Pinkerton second. Sullivan, your championship leader. New team for him as well, as he was riding... forget what the actual program he was riding for last week, but now, of course, he's riding for Panini Motorsports First Turn Films. Right in the mix here with those red backgrounds. He's also got Seth Shirley on the 23, the Heat 1 winner from Anaheim a week ago, right behind him. So we got our little 4-rider train starting to pull away at the front. Bordeaux goes off the track to the outside, so Pinkerton cuts underneath. Does he still get this double? It's a bit of a stretch. So Bordeaux trying to fight back up the inside, but Ryan Pinkerton goes to the lead, and boy, Pinkerton has been lightning quick in the opening laps of these races, but he goes down now, and that gives Bordeaux the race lead back. So Bordeaux from Sullivan, Shirley up the inside, gonna make a pass, almost put Sullivan on the ground, but that moves Seth Shirley up into second place, and now Sullivan cases the triple, allows Daniel Irvine through. Sullivan trying to fight back up the inside before the finish line, jumps some contact, and he puts Irvine into the Davalos bales. A little bit of early drama here. Sullivan coming into some issues, Pinkerton going down, and they're still all chasing Johan Bordeaux. Bordeaux trying to recover from that early mistake. He went off the track at the end of this rhythm lane, and we're also seeing a little bit of what I'm talking about with these 250 guys. They're trying to stretch out some of these rhythm lines. They're a little bit more hucky this week just because you have to seat bounce a lot of stuff with how small the jump faces are. So far, Bordeaux and Shirley out front making it look rather easy, much easier than I would make it look for sure. Into the whoops we go, and Bordeaux kind of hopping through him a little bit. Shirley's been great, and he's going to go up the inside to try to pass into the race lead, and he's got it. Seth Shirley, new leader here in Oakland. So just like that, the number 23 atom.com machine goes to the front. I believe they're on gases this year as well, so that's kind of a cool look. Haven't seen, it's been a while since I've seen somebody just straight up not use the main color of a bike And in this case, they've gone kind of white-black with a little like pink and teal in there. Interesting setup for sure. And of course, you're going to see a lot of guys running the all-black, a little bit of white setups here tonight. Being that it is Oakland, the Raiders may not play there anymore, but this stadium was called the Black Hole for a long time. So Shirley starting to get away a little bit out front. Bordeaux, Sullivan right there in the mix as well. And then it's Chris Post back there in fourth. A mistake, though, for Shirley. He's going to get a bad drive into the whoops. Here comes Bordeaux to the outside. Doesn't quite get it. Now Sullivan peeks up the inside, pulls up alongside of his teammate, and makes that pass. Almost goes up the inside of Shirley as well. But Shirley maintains the lead, so Seth Shirley halfway through this race, still out front. It is Sullivan there in second place. Bordeaux in third, and I believe that is Chris Post that's starting to close up a little bit there. Wow, look at that line from Sullivan as Shirley goes off the track. It was Chris Post as well back here, and Post just went down, so Sullivan to the lead. Bordeaux second. Shirley back to third, and now Tanner Thorson moves up into fourth just ahead of Chris Post. See, Post can recover. Put some pressure on Tanner Thorson as he hops over top of him and gets back into fourth place, but then he makes another mistake and misses this jump right here. A little Mad Skills motocross wheelie into the face of the lander, but Thorson back into fourth place. Post settles back into fifth. Jack Gatlin finds his way into sixth here in the midpoint of this one. Daniel Mills in seventh. Tyler Smith running in eighth for Field Graphics, and Irvine slipped back to that final transfer spot after his early fall. So he maintains the ninth place position. He's going to try to get around Tyler Smith here, and will do so nicely. A little slide into the corner, but recovers well to get back into position and holds on for eighth. So Tyler Smith now on the bubble of transfer. Oh, getting a little wayward coming into that corner, casing the double-triple. Getting the flow back, though. It's Brandon Nygren back here on the 47. Don't believe Nygren actually made the main last week, so he's trying to turn it around right now, and he is closed right up onto Smith for that final transfer spot. I also just saw Ryan Pinkerton down, I believe, in the background, so things are really coming unglued for your early leader here. As Nygren really closing up here into the whoops we go. You can also see the 59 of Alec Horn getting into the mix as Nygren down the inside of Smith, trying to get into ninth for the final transfer spot, and does so. So Smith now outside of transfer. Does he fight back immediately, or does he fall in line? Actually, he makes a little bobble, runs high, and Alec Horn goes by into 10th. So Horn now going to set sail after Nygren. And I've been told now for a week and a half that the First Turn Films pack would be done before Oakland. It is not, unfortunately, so we're still waiting. Only going to see those guys for 15 rounds at this point, maybe less. Nygren doesn't necessarily have this final transfer spot buttoned off just yet as the white flag is waving. Alec Horn trying to close up from the background. And Tyler Smith, I believe, is still right back there. They're actually catching Daniel Irvine just a little bit as Alec Horn got a little sendy there in the whoops, but now we have a gap established. So let's go back to our leader. It's still Luke Sullivan, and he is pulled away a little bit now. So picking up right where he left off from last week. If you guys had a chance to watch Sullivan's onboard footage from A1 last week, you'll see something that really doesn't happen too often in this game. Oh, as he's actually going to go down with the lead. And Seth Shirley is going to take it over. So Sullivan, I was just about to say, if you watch his onboard footage, after a first turn crash, he rode the entire rest of the race without a fall. But of course, this falls here and crashes away the heat win. So Seth Shirley, 2 for 2 in 2022 with heat race victories as he wins the first heat again here in Oakland. Sullivan second. Bordeaux ends up third. And Chris Post will maintain fourth to the line, just over Tanner Thorson. Jack Gatlin coming through the whoops here should be good to go for sixth. Dana Irvine was able to move up into seventh, where he will stay. Eighth place will end up being Brandon Nygren, and Alec Horn did get into that final transfer spot. So Daniel Mills tossed it away. D Mills was in transfer, ends up out by 1.6 seconds. We'll see whether or not cuts come into play there. We saw cuts come into play last week at Anaheim. Tyler Smith ends up in P11. It was 12th for Benjamin Miljkovic. Alex Heckman, talked to him before the action tonight, and he will bring it home in 13th in this heat race. So he's going to the LCQ, as is Seth Harnischfeger and Ryan Pinkerton. Austin Schaefer still doing battle with Brandon Wolf, who looks like he has likely missed a timing gate. No, excuse me, he's already finished the race. In 17th, Tyler Blowers was 18th, 19th for Cody Saunderson, and 20th for Matt Cromie. Let's take a look at cuts. And this time, unlike A1, nothing changes. So Seth Shirley, big winner here in 250 heat number 1. And 250 heat number 2 coming up right now. So let's go ahead and switch over to that there on the graphic. And we are off to the races tonight here in Oakland. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the coverage so far. Apologies again. If you're just joining us, we did have a little bit of a delay. There was an issue with qualifying times that the Race Factory crew was sorting out. So we had a little bit of like a 10 to 15-ish minute delay to start the program, but we should be right back on track now. And 250 Heat 2 is coming up next. So some faces we didn't see in that first 250 heat race now going to be in this second heat race coming up. Again, top 9 riders will transfer through directly to the main event. Everybody else goes to that last chance qualifier like we saw. Actually, while we're sitting here, we'll just go back to the intermission screen, hang out in studio with you guys a little bit. Like I said, good to see you guys here tonight. There we go. Don't want that just sitting on the screen. So how's everybody doing tonight? You guys having a good time? You guys ready for Oakland in real life on the weekend? If anybody's going, I will be there, so hope to see you guys there. But yeah, racing last week in real life was a lot of fun to watch, just as it was in sim. So we're off to the races, folks. Round 2 already happening. I feel like every year we have this like long build up to A1. It feels like it takes forever, and then the Supercross season just whoosh, blows right by. Like, it's kind of crazy. A1 is already behind us in sim and in real life, and now we're getting ready to go racing again for round 2. So yeah, good times. Let's see, what do we got going on in chat? How you guys doing tonight? Yeah, Cody M, give the stream a like, boys. Be sure not to miss out. Yeah, baby's doing well. She's not down for bed just yet. My wife is about to be on that here shortly. So kudos to her. She's the real MVP, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys want to know why I've been able to stream MX Simulator races for a decade, it's because of my amazing wife. That is truly the situation. Why is this up like this? I don't want this. I want display capture. That one. There we go. That's better. Give me a reason why Cooper Webb won't win the shift this year. One reason, the ground is hard, and if he hits it, he might get hurt, I guess. I don't know, dude. To finish second at the opener, it's not looking great for everybody else. Yeah, I saw you guys are saying KR Money got food poisoning. That sucks. I hate that. Got the old food poisoning. Been there. So we'll see that First Turn Films pack next week, hopefully. Casey Cochran just showing us the hotlines around this track. Kind of dig that gear setup too. A little bit of a checkered flag pattern, but it's like a teal with some dark blue in there. I will say, I'm usually pretty critical of Thor gear because I think their 2007, 2008 Thor core line was some of the best gear ever made, and they took significant steps back after that. but they're slowly starting to come around for me. I'm starting to like a lot more of the stuff that they make, personally speaking, at least. All right, let's get back in the server, though. Does Steve Mathis smell like maple syrup and beer? No, he doesn't. Let's take a look at Maxime Vanderbeek on the start here. Of course, he was the podium finisher last week at Anaheim 1. Let's see how he gets a good start here in this heat race. 250 West Heat 2 right now. It is going to be Cochran leading him in. Vanderbeek follows suit. And the 19 machine of Magnetti also right there, but Cochran rips the whole shot, and Vanderbeek gets together with the 37 of Balzer and goes down. So the Belgian and the Dane with some contact going into the second corner, and it separates the field just a little bit as Magnetti goes off the track after the finish line. And here comes Balzer. Balzer to the outside, now cuts to the inside. Interesting to see how many of these 250 guys are going to be able to make that cut underline in that left-hand sweeper work, because it is a pretty open corner if you can get to the inside after doing the double triple, as we saw Balzer do right there. Definite opportunity to make some passes. So Balzer now settles into second place. They're all chasing this man right here, Casey Cochran, the rider on the number 20 Adept Creative Co. machine, leading the race. And Cochran, if you guys remember from last week, had to go through the last chance qualifier. There was some definite nervous moments for the 20 a week ago, but he was able to salvage very well, finished fourth in the main event. And for a guy that figures to be a title contender this year in this 250 West division, that was most certainly the salvage ride he was hoping for after not making it through in his heat race. So this is looking a lot more similar to what we should expect out of Cochran. And there it is, that inside line again. Look at how much time Balzer gains just taking it. I mean, he was not that close to Cochran just moments ago, and that inside line does wonders for him. So now he closes up. We got a battle for the lead in 250 Heat 2. Balzer short on both triples. Nice save. Definitely could have gone wrong right there. He might go through the front door now. Yes, he's down. So the 19 of Magnetti just narrowly avoids him. Going through right there was Riley Hewen on the 93. Oscar Manias also went by, as did Charles Gable. Maxime Vanderbeek now ahead of Balzer. So Vanderbeek has done well to recover for 6th so far. Tyler Moses runs in 8th, and Seth Crotty rounds out our final transfer spot right now. Thomas Wilcox on the 22 is back here lurking. Juan Gomez, Kyle Carpenter, J.R. Reyes, Emmett Sundez. I think that was J.R. Reyes getting tossed off the side of the track. No, excuse me, Kyle Carpenter went off the inside of the track. We got a rider down. That appears to be Seth Crotty. Oh, got to be careful, Sunshine, with that track re-entry. So things kicking off a little bit back here. But it's all Casey Cochran out front. Cochran on that number 20. Looks like that team has picked up UndefinedLifestyle.com, or maybe that's a individual sponsor of Cochran. If you're new to MotoOption Supercross, maybe you haven't seen the MX Simulator Pro Racing Series before, a lot of these sponsors that are involved in this game really do actually get involved with the teams. For example, when I raced back in 2013 to 2015, our team was actually sponsored by Fly Racing. Fly used to give us real-life gear just as kind of like a courtesy that we were using for their team. So cool to see some brands get involved here as chaos is ensuing back here. Magnetti was the first to go down. Then Manias hit the deck, and Charles Gable also went down coming in. So that threw a little bit of a wrench in the plans, but Gable gets up still in transfer. Tyler Moses right there behind him is in P9. And the top 9 riders go through into the main event. So they're safe for now. There's Magnetti. There's Balzer still pushing Vanderbeek. Riley Hewen and Cochran so far getting away pretty well. Hewen back here in second. Probably going to have some company soon. Let's go on board with the Great Dane, Rasmus Balzer, as these guys try to close up onto second place right there. Riley Hewen. Balzer is right behind the 62 of Maxime Vanderbeek. So Balzer from Denmark, Vanderbeek from Belgium. And then Riley Hewen ahead of these guys, I believe is Australian. Don't kill me if he's actually from New Zealand. but he is from down under. So we got 3 different nationalities, 3 different kind of areas of the world represented. Obviously Denmark, kind of Scandinavia, Belgium, more central-ish Europe. And then Australia, well, it's its own little place down there, isn't it? So cool to see the international flair at the front of these 250 races. And another thing about that too is that as this is not a LAN event, this is all these guys playing at these different areas of the world. So it is wee hours of the morning for Vanderbeek and Balzer to be racing this, whereas for Hewen in Australia right now, it's about lunchtime. Probably think about getting a nice PB&J sandwich after this race is over. Maybe a little bit of Vegemite if he's into that kind of thing. A terrific battle between these guys so far. I mean, they have not wavered whatsoever. It does seem like Vanderbeek and Balzer have kind of pushed up to the back tire of Hewen, but they have not been able to make a pass just yet. And Balzer, I'm not sure whether he is just waiting for an opportunity to get around Vanderbeek or if he's just thinking there's a spot that he has an opportunity to make that pass. Look at that, though. They're both going to go to the inside and make a quick pass around Hewen. That is that inside line doing its magic. But now Hewen tries to fight back to the outside. Going to have to settle in behind Balzer, who now moves into 3rd place. Vanderbeek moves to 2nd, and Hewen made a little mistake in that rhythm section. Drops back to 4th. So Magnetti went all the way back to 5th place and has stayed there. Wilcox now has moved up into 6th. 7th for Charles Gable. 8th is Oscar Manias, and K-Carp rounds out the final transfer spot, at least for the time being. Tyler Moses has fell out of the transfer spots. So he is going to try to regroup himself, get that 707 Monster Mountain MX KTM up to the Tagger Designs number 39 of Kyle Carpenter before this one is over. But we do have a white flag waving, and our leader just went down. So Cochran, getting up from a crash, now has Vanderbeek and Balzer right behind him on the last lap of the race. We got a battle for the win here, and lap traffic coming into play. Trying to see this 161 machine. They're trying to, I think, get out of the way. Cochran pushes wide. He's not going to get this double, I don't think. No, he's short. He shorts it. Vanderbeek to the lead. Balzer to the outside of Cochran, but Cochran controls the inside and puts the Dane on the ground. Vanderbeek into the whoops, trying to avoid the 167. That might be Blake O'Brien. Yes, it is. Oh, my goodness. Almost contact to the outside. Cochran tries to get a drive, and he's going to triple to the inside to take the lead again. Here comes Hewen to the outside. He gets pushed into the Davalos Bales. Final corner. Who's going to win this heat race? It is going to be Casey Cochran by a nose from Vanderbeek. Balzer crosses the line in 3rd. Riley Hewen will end up in 4th. Wilcox got all the way up into 5th by the end of this one. Charles Gable crosses the line, an easy 6th. Manias 7th. Magnetti drifts back to P8. And Kyle Carpenter, so long as he gets through this set of whoops clean, and he does, is going through to the main event in 9th. Ryan Swanson rounds out our top 10, but he is going to the LCQ, as is Tyler Moses, Emmett Sund, J.R. Reyes, Brandon Larson, a.k.a. B-Lars or Blars for short, Aaron Rockefeller. Bummer to see him back here. Definitely was a guy I think expected to make it straight through into that main event. And we'll wait for B-Lars to finish off. Michael Mudge was 16th, 17th for Dominic Paolini, 18th for Blake O'Brien, 19th for Juan Gomez. And Seth Crotty has not finished the race just yet, but he will be 20th when this race is over. And there I am on the gate. So unofficially so far, barring cuts, Logan Leitzel, or I'm sorry, excuse me, Casey Cochran, your big winner. 250 West Heat number 2. All right, there we go. Cuts are in. Confirmed. Cochran, the winner. Balzer drops to 4th behind Hewen. Gable falls to 7th behind Manias, who goes to 6th, but the rest of the top 9 stays the same aside from that. So no big moves out of transfer or into transfer. Cochran, though, the big winner here in this one. It is time for 450 heat number 1 coming up next. Back in studio, though. Kellen Brower bringing you guys the action tonight. Hopefully you guys are having a good time so far tonight. Kicking back. Maybe you have a beverage in hand. Maybe you got some bag of potato chips, candy bar, something. I don't know. Just keeping the night going. You know, it sounds good, but I got my downstairs fridge right now. I got a nice little pint there of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Favorite Ben & Jerry's ice cream flavor. If you guys in chat like Ben & Jerry's, let me know what you like. I personally have fish food in the freezer downstairs, which sounds oddly terrible for an ice cream flavor, but it's like, what is it? It's like chocolate ice cream with these like little chocolate kind of like, I don't know, candies, I guess, and caramel and fudge, I think, or something. Oh, no, marshmallow and caramel. Oh, chef's kiss. It's fantastic. Kimmy's in. What is up, buddy? Drops off 10 Brazilian, I think, what are they called? Rubles? Brazilian currency is cheap for you, but you can buy a McDonald's with that. Love your work, bud. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know what I'm going to buy, though, with 10 Brazilian rubles? I'm going to go to Jack in the Box, get myself that 2 taco deal, get a little bit of ranch dressing, dip them in. Whew, good stuff. All right, I'm seeing some stuff rolling in. We got cookie dough is pretty good. Reese's, definitely some good one. Strawberry cheesecake. Yeah, fish food is fire for sure. Half baked. Yeah, I like that one too. We got cookies and cream from Dick Trickler. Great name. Chocolate chip cookie dough from Dr. JB. Got a Disco Rico real quick. The brownie mix is bomb. Says Napes. That's an awful name for a flavor, yeah. Fantastic stuff. Love your guys' answer. Double chocolate chip cookie dough with fudge. Oh my gosh, you guys are making me want to leave and go get my Ben & Jerry's. Can't even English right now because my mouth is just melting. Hey folks, here's Jack Haley. If you were not here with us last week, the 2019 champ didn't make the main event at Anaheim 1. So not ideal for the number 2 machine. But we'll see if we can turn it around this week here in Oakland. Hashtag CMXR gang. Shout out to them for show. Salt and vinegar, no. I mean, salt and vinegar chips are bomb. I like those. Maybe a little limon from the Lay's potato chip company, or, you know, you get that. You know what's really good is the kettle cooked, baked jalapeno Lay's potato chips. Fire. Making me hungry. My mouth is literally watering right now. Chunky Monkey, that's a good Ben & Jerry's flavor. I like that. Flary. Can't even English. All right, let us get back into the Soiva. Get ready to drop the gate here in 450 Heat 1. Who to watch on the start. T-Lang's got a good gate up the inside, but I feel like if I can find him, Leclerc's a good one on that 7. Also Siebold. Here we go, 450 Heat 1 right now in Oakland. Voice crack galore. Well, it is Lang and Leclerc getting together in the first corner. Lang with a little bit of an elbow to his nemesis there. On the 7, puts Leclerc down. Trent Adams picks up the whole shot. So Adams leads the early running here from Trevor Burns, a.k.a. Christian Craig lookalike. And Colby Eaglin comes through into 3rd place. Devin Davis finds himself in 4th with T-Lang right behind him in 5th. Battle for the lead, and Trevor Burns is going to take it away. Oh, Trent Adams over the berm into the Steve Mathis Memorial nets. Chaos ensues behind, but our new leader is indeed Trevor Burns. Burnsy from Eagland. Have a feeling Eagland's trying to waste as little time behind Burns as possible, but Trevor Burns is no slouch. Remember, he won the Atlanta 2 Supercross on a 250 last year. But Eagland, reigning champion in the East, I believe, wants a piece of the number 28 for the race lead. And we're also seeing a little bit of what these 450 guys are capable of in those rhythm lanes. We'll stick on Eagland as he comes through here this time by. I think the line here is, of course, this little double and then triple around the bend. Tuck inside if possible. Step on, step off, triple. Some guys will quad over this table or just step on, step off. Is Eagland tripling in here? No, double. Double, triple. Triple, double. So I guess it's just about staying low this week. Those guys are not trying to go for the big lines. Saru, by the way, asked if I'm going to be at any East Coast SX rounds this year. I'm pretty sure I will end up at a couple. So, like, I'm definitely going to Dallas. Probably going to go to Minneapolis. I think Foxborough and Detroit are also possible as well. So if anybody's near those, just keep an eye out. Might be going to those races. And, of course, everything West Coast I'll be at. Eagland has not been able to make a dent just yet on Burns out front. And these guys are really starting to pick up on that inside in the sweeper. Yeah, Burns is looking comfortable. Even a little kind of kick-out whip halfway through the rhythm. Oh, he's tripling in. What's he got? So triple, triple, triple single. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be faster. I guess he did pull away a little bit. Maybe just carrying that momentum with the triple in. Oh, Eagland tucks the front tire and goes down, and his old pal Lang gets into his rear tire and he goes down. Coming into the fray, Devin Davis pulls up alongside Lang, but doesn't quite get the line right there to triple. So settles back in. Here is Jeremy Smith on the SYS Heckman Productions racing team, and down in the corner, Colby Eagland. So Eagland falls out of that battle for the lead, and looks like he is drifted back to 5th. He stays ahead of teammate Jeremy Seabolt, who's in 6th. Kevin Gonzalez in 7th. Payson Johnson in 8th, and Trent Adams looks like he's in the final transfer spot. This is the man we should be paying attention to right here. Alexis Leclerc says he's on Safe Moon, but we really know he's on Panini Motorsports now. And as evident by that setup, interestingly enough, I don't believe Leclerc I've ever seen has been on a Yamaha in his career. He's been on Husqvarna and Suzuki and Cowie for a little bit last year. So this is it's even new territory for us OGs in the community to see Leclerc on a Yamaha. Looks a little bit Stu-ish. I like it. Love the handguards too. Big handguard guy. Myself. Looks like a new leader actually missed this one, but Lang has gone to the front. So Trevor Burns coughed it away at one point. Devin Davis moves to 2nd. Jeremy Smith to 3rd. Eagland right there in 4th. As Smith swings wide, Eagland up the inside just makes a easy pass. Smith trying to fight back on the outside. Let's see, are any of these guys tripling here? Smith has to cut back underneath, so it doesn't look like he is able to get the drive in right there. Smith's racecraft, always pretty good at dicing, is into his back tire goes Trevor Burns, and he's off the bike. Seabolt goes by. There goes a couple more riders, including the 51 of Johnson. And is that the 92? Yes, it is. Kevin Gonzalez up to 6th and 7th, respectively. So Zoe Cross is in the final transfer spot, but here comes Leclerc. Sounds like we had a rider down in the off end of that corner right there, but Cross in the final transfer spot. We got a freight train of riders coming too. Time is about to expire as well. We only have about 20 seconds left on the clock in 450 Heat 1. Cross around the outside, pushing the envelope on Jeremy Smith, trying to urge the number 4 machine forward. Almost triples onto his back. And here comes Leclerc. Oh, Lang just went down with the race lead. So we're going to have a new leader, and everything is tightening up. Leclerc right on Zoe Cross for the final transfer spot. Oh, but he's just backed out of the challenge so far. Wow, Leclerc inside. Almost made that work. Jeremy Smith didn't get a good drive, and Cross jumps off the track. Leclerc into the final transfer spot. But this is not over just yet. Into the whoops we go. Everybody carrying some good speed and flow through there. Want to be in second or third gear on a 450 if possible. Leclerc goes through the whoops in fifth as he almost comes to blows there with Jeremy Smith. White flag is waving. Don't necessarily want to go away from that battle, but our new leader, by the way, is Devin Davis. He's trying to hold off with Oakland right behind him. So Devin Davis, MX Simulator's veteran of all veterans, I guess is what you would call him. Most career starts in MX Simulator history. That man right there, Devin Davis, and he's trying to win another heat race here tonight. A little high-centered on that berm. Didn't get the greatest of drives. Oakland trying to get a run up the inside, but Davis squares the corner off well. And as long as he gets through this lane well, he should be able to close it off in the whoops. Final straightaway, Devin Davis. Oakland into the final turn. Not going to get there. Devin Davis wins 450 Heat 1 in Oakland. Oakland second, Lang third, Johnson fourth, Burns fifth, Seabolt sixth. Leclerc going to end up seventh. Smith gets eighth, Gonzalez ninth. And Zoacross, first man out, ends up P10. Enzo Buttigny 11th. Frank Jackson 12th. Tanner Rogers down here in 13th. 14th for Ash Deering. 15th for Dylan Cavacuti. Trent Adams in 16th. Jack Haley, going to the LCQ again for the 2019 champ. Rogan McIntosh, Braden Tharp, and Tyler Shields. Ooh, Shields in his debut ride with Phils after finishing second at the opening round last week, also going to the LCQ. So a couple heavy hitters from this 450 class going to wind up there. But Devin Davis confirmed Heat 1 winner. Cuts have now come in. Let's see, anything in the top 9 changed? No. Everything stayed the same. There's a closer look at Leclerc aboard his new Panini Motorsports / Safe Moon Yamaha. I give a little bit of respect to the Panini guys this year for rocking Kenny gear. That is a gear brand I don't expect to see out of an American team. But hey, love the little flair. So D Davis wins 450 Heat number 1. And coming up next, it's going to be 450 Heat number 2. So who's going to come out on top of this one? We should see Braden Carter in this one, or so we think. It does sound like the hot rumor is that Carter did not actually make it through in qualifying. Whether he didn't get a good lap or what have you, I'm not sure. But someone was saying that they're going to let him start back gate. So we'll see. But 450 Heat 2 action coming up next, live here on Start Your Systems. Thanks, guys, so much again for tuning in every single week, watching these races. I can only speak for myself, but I do know that I put quite a bit of work into making this broadcast happen for you guys, getting those opening ceremonies videos done and such. And I know for a fact that the Race Rage Gaming track crew also puts in a lot of work. They're scrambling a little bit today. I know some people were like, is the track going to make it? Is it going to come out? But they got it done in time. And from now on, hopefully smooth sailing as we get into San Diego next week, my hometown race. But a big shout out, of course, to Race Factory for putting on these races. Triaz wants to know what happened to JS4 riding Supercross in real life. Just not enough rides to go around this year. Missing them Saturday nights. Yeah, it actually sounds like Jeremy might be considering hanging it up in terms of full-time professional career. Kind of got a shot with SGB. I thought he was pretty good on that team, but I mean, they had an opportunity to pick up Cade Clayson. Clayson's going to be a main event staple, so I can't blame them. But yeah, a little bit of a bummer not to see him at the races. Hopefully we see him do some, but I think for now he's just taking a little bit of a break, putting some time in on sim. We know he's dang good at the game, so we'll see if keeps getting a little bit better and maybe gets a win notched off this year. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the update on Carter is they're going to let him go back gate because his internet went down. So interestingly enough, but I mean, To be fair, some people might be upset with that move because Carter either didn't qualify in or what have you, but I always thought the Champions Provisional in real life was totally legit. Like, you want to see the stars of the show make the main event, so a Champions Provisional was, even if they didn't make it out of the LCQ, they could start in the main event. I think that's the same thing in this situation, personally speaking. I think it's totally fine that they let Carter in. He's the reigning champion. I think a lot of people watching this stream probably want to see Carter make this race, so I don't mind it. Shout out to Devin Davis, by the way, for a $5 donation. Button throttle OP. But now it's time to drop the gate. 450 Heat 2 right now. Well, we were taking a look at, I think, Seth Carr off the start. But things got a little dicey. Carter went down through the first turn. Bryce Whelan going to get the whole shot as he usually does. And Logan Leitzel, who was 4th last week, ends up in 2nd place off the start. Pearson, Hubbard, Eklund, Janis, Wilson, Hall, Pilsner, Colton Mitchell, Seth Carr, Ethan Gerst, Dennis Fjellberg, Caden Speck, Finn Collins, or is it Flynn Collins? Nobody knows. Chase Blakely, Braden Castellaneta, Chase Donovan, and Carter way back here. So he's 19th, and he's got a lot of guys ahead of him, but there's a bajillion guys down in this corner, so if he can make it through here smoothly, and he doesn't, gets stuck on Mitchell, so gonna lose, well, actually gains a spot when all is said and done, but could have gained more. Gonna gain another spot right there. That might have been Castellaneta that was down. Trying to close up on the 81, that's Chase Donovan. And, you know, fortunately for Carter, Supercross, everybody stays pretty close in these opening laps, so there's opportunities aplenty to try to make passes. He's gonna go up the inside, trying to get around Donovan. Donovan pulls alongside, but it looks like Carter is going to complete that pass. And next target for him, Chase Blakely on the 21. So this is what it's like when you don't get the start, ladies and gentlemen. I've been here before, many times. I was a fringe main event guy in my career, so 16th, 15th in an LCQ, especially when I needed starts to help me make main events, were always so sketchy. Moves up to 14th now, right behind his teammate Dennis Fjellberg. Another little pile up in this corner, but Carter down the inside shoots into 12th. 2 more riders go down. Carter's up to 10th. And now is just trying to close up onto, trying to see who that is. The 14 of Matthias Janis, just ahead of him for the final transfer spot. And he's got a bit of a gap behind him. Look at this, trying to go to the outside. Squares off. Oh, interesting line. I haven't seen anybody take that line yet, but Carter makes it work, and another rider went down, so Carter up in the transfer spot. He's 8th now. Whelan still leading. Pilsner in 2nd. Leitzel's drifted back to 3rd. He's got the 25 of Jaden Wilson right behind him. So Wilson on that Panini Motorsports number 25 with Seth Carr coming into the rhythm section. Carter goes around Caleb Hall, who was down. And Hall actually lost a transfer spot because of that crash. Colton Mitchell shoots into the final transfer spot on the 6 right there. So things starting to settle just a little bit. Kind of starting to figure out what's going to happen in this heat race, but we still have about half this one to go. 3.5 minutes down, so 2.5 minutes plus a lap left. Bryce Whelan continues to lead and opening up a big gap. Whelan has won 450 main events before, so he is no stranger to being out front and trying to battle for wins. And what he's definitely no stranger at is getting hole shots. This man knows how to get good starts in this 450 class. We'll see if he carries that same flair with him into the main event. Maybe rips another start. Jaden Wilson still sitting back here now in 2nd with a pass just being made there on Joseph Pilsner. And then Seth Carr. Not sure if Seth Carr just doesn't have skins or if he's using T-Lang's bike for a reason. The back of his jersey is 35 as he gets together there with the 25, Jaden Wilson. And now Carter, who was 19th when we first saw him, has just made his way into 3rd place, 59 flat. And I'll tell you what, depending on what Whelan does out front, Carter still has a legit shot at winning this heat race from way back there. A little short maybe on the step on, step off, but recovers nicely to bounce out. And I'll tell you what, it is very interesting to see that these 450 guys seemingly can triple in, but are not doing it. It must just mean that the double, triple, triple, double is better than triple, triple, single. Although I was seeing a couple guys bust a quad in there. Carter on the warm-up lap did a quad. So who knows? Maybe they just prefer the flow of the lower lines as Carter just gets right down the inside of Pilsner and shoots into 2nd place. Time has not expired, so 2 laps to go as Whelan crosses the line this time by. As Carter now settles into 2nd, Pilsner 3rd, Seth Carr right there in P4, Jaden Wilson 5th, Caleb Hall 6th. 14 of Janice, his teammate, right behind him in 7th. Hubbard 8th. Blakely 9th right now. And is that Donovan? Yeah, it looks like Donovan on the 81 back there in 10th. Rider down. Oh, that's Hubbard. Jacob Hubbard off the side of the track. Losing several positions. And that's not going to bode well for him. He has got a lot of work to do from here. I think he's down in, 13th. Going to need some help. So Fjellberg 12th, Leitzel 11th. Benjamin Saves is 10th. Donovan now moves into the final transfer spot as the white flag waves for race leader Bryce Whelan jumping through in the background. I think that was Fjellberg that just went down in the background, as did Benjamin Saves. And more riders getting wayward as Hubbard comes through. So now Leitzel, and he goes down as well. So this is shaping up very nicely for Donovan. He just needs a half-decent, consistent lap right here. And he'll find his way into the main event. Looks like he's doing a solid job of that here on this last lap. And doing a very solid job of putting it all together in this heat race is this man right here, Bryce Whelan. Early leader, pulled away, checked out, and Bryce Whelan wins 450 Heat 2 in Oakland. Carter from 19th gets 2nd in this one, so I have a much better gate pick tonight than he did last week in Anaheim. Pilsner ends up 3rd. Seth Carr will end up in 4th place. T.S. Jan is coming through in 5th. Jaden Wilson 6th. Caleb Hall 7th. Chase Blakely 8th. And Donovan indeed will bring it down in P9 to qualify for the main event. And my daughter is here. Good night, Holly. You blowing kisses? Yeah, I love you too. All right, 450 Heat 2 action wrapped up. And cuts are in as well. So Whelan with the win. Carter, Pilsner, Carr, Janis, Wilson, Hall, Blakely, and Donovan round out our transfer spots. Hubbard going to the LCQ. Leitzel, Mitchell, Fjellberg. 4 guys right there that should make it through the LCQ. But remember, they're meeting Jack Haley, Tyler Shields, a couple other names. Braden Castellaneta's going. Oof. This will be a tough one for sure. Yikes. Well, we'll see what happens. But of course, first up is going to be that 250 last chance qualifier. As we're back in studio, what's up, guys? How's it going? getting ready to drop the gate in this LCQ. I don't know what's going to happen in that 450 LCQ. There's 7, 8 names that are going to be very unhappy to not make it through to the main event, but at least 3 or 4 of them have to not make it. Only 4 go through in this LCQ. Same to be said for the 250 last chance qualifier coming up. Whew, it's going to be crazy. How are the chances that T-Lang will retire as a top 10 player? I mean, it's a fair question because he's won a championship in the 450 class now. There's only been, I guess there's probably been more than 10 now. So let's think. 450 national champions over the year. Jones in 12. Tyson 13. No, sorry, Jones in 11. Tyson in 12. Dupuis 13, Leclerc 14, Mullins was 15, 16, 17, Leclerc was 18, 19, 20, and then Lang won last year. So there you go. He's one of 5 guys to win a 450 national title. And then in Supercross, we've had, Haskell won the first 2, but those were 250 championships. The first 450 championship was won by Tyson. So it was Fresquez 12, 13, down in 14, Root 15, Fresquez 16 and 17, Leclerc 18, Haley 19, Seabolt 20, and then Carter obviously won last year. So there's, what did I just count? 8 450 Supercross champions. So Lang is one of 13 guys that has ever won a 450 title in this game at the elite level. It's a small group. So yeah, definitely you have to consider him for top 10, but I digress. 250 action coming up now. Get back full screen for you guys. Oh, don't you worry, Byron. I never forget that title. That lucky title. All right, so this 250 LCQ, we have got Seth Crotty, Juan Gomez, Brandon Wolf, Emmett Sund, Cody Saunderson, Tyler Smith, Tyler Blowers, Dominic Paolini, Alex Heckman, Ryan Pinkerton. Remember, Pinkerton led about half of the main event last week. Matt Cromie, Brandon Larson, Benjamin Miljkovic, Lucas Schwerdner. He qualified in the top 5 this week. J.R. Reyes, Seth Harnischfeger, Tyler Moses, Aaron Rockefeller, Austin Schaefer, Ryan Swanson, Blake O'Brien. And I want to point out something as well. O'Brien has RIP Fed in his name, and I'm almost certain he's talking about Ryan Fedoro, who was a longtime trainer in the sport, who unfortunately lost his life yesterday. So thoughts going out to Ryan Fedoro and his family, and obviously everybody that he trained and worked with over the years. He was working with Justin Bogle this year, for example. So thinking of those guys, and very sad to see Fedoro no longer with us. So quick shout out to him. But let's go ahead and drop the gate in his honor tonight. 250 last chance qualifier getting ready to go here in Oakland. Well, Pinkerton on the 58 gets to the corner first. Does he control it? Everybody pushed a little bit wide, so Pinkerton from the inside does indeed grab that hole shot. And this is good news for him because the chaos in the LCQs can be plenty. So Pinkerton leads over the line at the end of lap 1. Larson, Heckman, Moses, D-Mills, and Moses come together. Mills with some front end lock goes down. Tyler Smith is also down as riders scatter. So our top 4 now is Pinkerton with the lead as it comes down this back rhythm section. Heckman getting past for second. Brandon Larson moves into that position. Heckman falls to third. And it's J.R. Reyes right now in 4th. Oh, he gets landed on. J.R. Reyes goes down. Tyler Moses was the one who landed on him. Ryan Swanson gets involved. And all 3 go from right on the edge of transfer to outside. And oh my God, that track cut by... It's not even going to pick him up anymore because he's probably cut too many gates. Can't even find him. What a land right there by D Mills at the end of the whoops too. Okay, let's try to reset it a little bit here because things are getting crazy. Whoa, Ryan Pinkerton just disappeared. Okay, internet problems. Thankfully, it wasn't lag out of the server. But Pinkerton leads from Larson, Schwartner, Heckman. And now it's Cody Saunderson and Austin Schaefer, pretty much the only two guys within arm's length of the two guys battling for final transfer spot. And Larson just went down. So now this is the battle for the final transfer spot. And Saunderson made a mistake, so he's off the side of the track. Losing a lot of time right there is Saunderson. Schaefer now has a gap to work with in fourth. Heckman kind of all by himself in third, trying to tail Schwartner on the JIBR number 311, but they're all chasing Ryan Pinkerton, who at this point must have the record for most laps led in the 250 class this year. He led half the main event, more than half the main event last week in Anaheim. Led some of his heat race earlier on tonight. Now is leading laps in this LCQ. And side note, big like early year Josh Hill vibes with that number 58 on the Yamaha. I think Hill was 58 in 2007 on a Yamaha 250. And I know that the Yamahas look different now. They're not as all blue factory, but that font on a Yamaha with the 58 just reminded me of Josh Hill right now. Just thought I'd chat that out there real quick. Looks like we've lost Heckman. Schaefer's gone by. Larson had moved into the final transfer spot, but he just went down. So moving through now is Ryan Swanson. So Swanson getting a bit of a gift here after some of the melee he was involved with early on. Now finds his way into a transfer spot. Let's see if he can hold on to that spot as time is starting to wind down a little bit. The last thing he'd want to do right now is crash, because he'd fall back into a group of 4 or 5 guys back there. Meanwhile, our top 3 are gone. 13 seconds between Schaefer in third and Swanson here in fourth. So everybody's pretty much just looking at this final transfer spot now. Oh, and they're going to get it because Swanson just yard sailed in the rhythm section. Here comes Heckman trying to get back through, but Larson is actually going to steal it from the outside. So B-Lars into the final transfer spot. Heckman trying to fight back on the 292. This should get good as well because these two guys are close. Not only on the track, but I believe so in speed as well. We'll see if Heckman tries to perhaps force anything. No, Larson goes down. Larson OJ'd the double, triple, insta legs off. And Heckman goes back by. Matt Cromie went through, as did Cody Saunderson. So they are now chasing Alex Heckman. And the gap from third to fourth is massive. Almost 20 seconds now between the two is Cromie. Into the back of Cody Saunderson, goes over the berm. And then cases the double. So here comes Larson. Larson trying to go into fifth up the inside. Easy block pass in the end on Cromie. Cromie fighting alongside of Seth Crotty as the white flag waves for our leaders. Cromie and Crotty almost get into the downed Larson. So coming down, they're going to get the white flag this time by, and unless Heckman falls, he should be good to go, but we'll see as Cromie and Crotty battling it out for fifth. Could become the battle for the final transfer spot if Heckman hits the deck. Heckman slowly caught up to Schwartner. Schaefer and Pinkerton are gone at the front of the field. So Ryan Pinkerton did everything right in this LCQ. Although it did look like maybe he's lost a little bit of time to Schaefer in these closing laps, but hey, he's safe. That's all that matters. They're going to have an awful gate pick regardless. They're going to be gate picks 19 through 22, which will probably put him on the outside, but at the very least, they're in. Ryan Pinkerton going to pick up the win in the last chance qualifier here in Oakland. Schaefer crosses the line in second. Schwartner third. And we'll wait to see, can Heckman hold on? Sliding the rear end out a little bit there. Whoa, another rider came flipping across the track. Almost absolutely plowed Heckman. Cromie is getting closer. Heckman's got to get this last straightaway clean. Last couple of whoops. And Heckman goes to the main event. Cromie misses out by 2.2 seconds. Dominic Paolini, Cody Saunderson, Seth Crotty. This is a bunch of guys that are not going to the main tonight, so this is all for bragging rights. This is usually where we see people get teed up because they know they're not going to make the main, so they might as well just do some desperation pass attempt at the end. Almost like that. Tyler Smith went for it. Oh, Seth Crotty. So Ryan Swanson misses out. Brandon Larson misses out. Brandon Wolf, Michael Mudge, Tyler Blauer, Seth Harnischfeger, Juan Gomez, Benjamin Miljkovic, D Mills, that's a tough one right there. JR Reyes, Blake O'Brien, all not going to the main event. So we'll wait and see what cuts give us, see if anything changes. Right now, though, Pinkerton was your winner. Top 4. Wow, we actually have a change for the win. Austin Schaefer picks up the win on cuts. Wow, so Pinkerton, dirty little thief. Almost 4 seconds of cuts for Pinkerton. And those new to MotoOption Supercross, the cuts or penalty system, everybody calls it something different, is a system that the game kind of keeps track of when you go off the track and how much time you gain while you're off the track. So Pinkerton went off the track he could have been off the track for 10 seconds, but as long as he only gained 3.99 seconds when you factored standard deviation between timing gates, then in the end, that's the penalty that they give him. So a little bit unfortunate there. But hey, still made the main with that second place finish. All right. 450 LCQ coming up next. This one is going to be a good one because I have zero clue who is going to make it through out of this one. There are 7, 8, let's just call it an even 10 heavy hitters in this one. And it could go any way. It really could. So we'll see what happens in just a moment here. As we get loaded into the LCQ. Good to have so many people still hanging out in chat. And seriously, you guys will not want to click onto another website anytime soon because the main events are coming up. These LCQs are a riot as well. So if you're live watching right now, don't go somewhere else. I mean, you're here now. You want to see some MX Simulator Supercross action? And that's what we're here to provide. So these LCQs are about to be nutty. Colton Mitchell, Zoa Cross, Ethan Gerst, Jack Haley, Dylan Cavacuti, Braden Castellaneta, Caden Speck, Rogan McIntosh, Ash Deering, Dennis Fjellberg, Braden Tharp, Tyler Shields, whose skins I've still never got. I would have had him included in opening ceremonies tonight as he is second in points, but the Phil's team, I guess, didn't send me his skins ever. Bummer deal there. And Austin Eklund going to the line for this one. Only 4 guys go to the main event, and boy, after the ride that Shields had last week to finish second in the main event at the opening round, to then miss the next round, I'm sure it'll be a big bummer. So I know he's wanting to make this thing happen right here. Oh boy, though, this is get nervous time. Some people are about to go home less than thrilled, we'll put it mildly. Probably very unhappy, to put it heavy. So let's see what happens right here and right now. I'm going to take a look at Hubbard because he's definitely one of those guys that should go through out of this. Leitzel, Fjellberg, Hubbard, Speck, many others. Who goes to the main event? It's the 450 LCQ. And Hubbard does get a good start, but it was actually from the outside swooping in. Dylan Cavacuti on the underground RC Suzuki gets the whole shot. Everybody banging bars into the second corner. I see Mitchell. I see Eklund up there. I see Jack Haley. There's a big pile up in the third corner, and that is Hubbard down with Fjellberg. They also took their teammate Speck. Several others going down. A lot of guys stacked up in the corner. Fjellberg gets together with another rider when he picks it back up. Those guys are way back now. They got a lot of work to do. Logan Leitzel also back here. Jack Haley just laid it over and got kind of punted when he picked it back up. So Cavacuti leads. Colton Mitchell second. Eklund third. Pearson fourth. Pearson down. Blakely down as well. No, excuse me. That is Ash Deering on... Oh, it looked like Blakely's 21, but it's a 731, excuse me, of Deering. Everybody trying to figure this thing out early on. Leitzel has done a good job to just get through some of the chaos, but he's still outside of transfer. Cavacuti, Mitchell, Eklund, Shields now in the final transfer spot, so that is huge for the man in second place in this championship. And our top four is starting to get a bit of a gap established, so it's about these guys staying on two wheels at this point. Cavacuti, Mitchell, Eklund, and Shields coming through this rhythm lane now. So this is a group that certainly could keep it on two wheels, keep it nice and tidy to the end of this race, but from what we've seen in this LCQ so far, I'm a little skeptical. Looks like Shields has dropped off this group just a little bit, so it's now kind of a battle for the race lead between three riders. Cavacuti, Mitchell, and Eklund there on the 24, with Shields falling off the back. So it could have come to tears with these three, perhaps. Looks like Zoocross, Enzo Butigny are not going to finish this race. Shields falling off the back of this group just a little bit, trying to keep tabs. We got Gerst in 5th, Save 6th, Leitzel still 7th. Ash Deering now into 8th. Dennis Fjellberg moves up to 9th. And Tanner Rogers rounds out our top 10. But the front three, as you can see on our screen here, making it look rather easy. I think all these guys are going to be pretty content to just kind of follow in. But a mistake for Cavacuti has certainly allowed Mitchell back into the picture for the lead. Yeah, it looks like Jack Haley's also called it a night. So 2 main events in a row to start the season that Jack Haley has not made it into. Bummer deal for the 2019 champ, but he has openly said he's taking it a little bit less serious this year. So maybe the expectations have dropped quite a bit for the number 2 machine as Mitchell takes over the race lead. 3.5 minutes done on this one. So Cavacuti settles into 2nd. Eklund still right there in 3rd. And just nothing changing in this front group. They are nose to tail, but they have plenty of time to work with. So double, triple, double through there for all these guys. Cavacuti tried to get to the inside, maybe get a little line established there. And Shields back here. Comfy in 4th, but it is Leitzel in 5th. Remember, Leitzel was 4th in the main event last week. So 4th in points and 2nd in points might end up battling for the final transfer spot, depending on what happens at the end of this race. White flag is waving, so really consistent clean laps for our front 4 should be enough to get this ticket to the main event stamped for all of them. We'll see what happens, though. Eklund has gotten around Cavacuti for 2nd. And it looks like they have been able to survive each other's back and forth a little bit. Shields just kind of managing back there. Looks like this is going to be our 4, barring a complete disaster from somebody. So Fjellberg entering tonight 10th in the championship. Hubbard entering tonight 12th in the championship. Not going to go to the main event. A lot of guys that were in contention last week out of the main event tonight as it stands, and it looks like it is going to stay that way as Colton Mitchell on the number 6 Covenant Gas brings it down, and Mitchell, your winner in the 450 LCQ. Cavacuti 2nd, Shields 3rd. Eklund, I think, went down, but he's going to hold on. Leitzel is going to miss the main event. 2.8 seconds. He's going to need a lot of help. Gerst, Deering, Fjellberg isn't going through. And he will be livid, no question about it, as will Jacob Hubbard. Rogan McIntosh. Tanner Rogers also missing out. Frank Jackson, 12th. Trent Adams, 13th. Finn Collins was 14th in this one. Brock Pearson, Brendan Castellaneta, Braden Tharp, Benjamin Saves, Caden Speck, Jack Haley, Enzo Buttigny, and Zoa Cross. All not going to the main event, out of this one as well. Cuts are in. Top 4 stay the same. Logan Leitzel not going to the main event tonight. But Colton Mitchell is. And of course, he is going to feel good about that. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is about time for that 250 main event to get kicked off here in just a moment. 15 minutes plus a single lap for round 2 of their championship. Got a lot of storylines coming into this one. Can Sullivan repeat? Will somebody dethrone him? Are some of these fast foreign riders like Vanderbeek and Balzer going to step up and get their first career North American Championship main event victories? Or is somebody else going to come through in all of this and make it interesting? I have no idea. But what I do know is this is going to be a fun race to watch. Hopefully you guys are buckled up and ready to go. Get those seatbelts fastened because we're going to have a good race on hand in this 250 West main event. Round 2 of 9 in their championship. So obviously a shorter championship than what we see out of the 450 guys that go 17 rounds. But still just as intense, really. Even maybe more intense because these races count for a lot. You can certainly lose it with one bad race, one missed main event, whatever in a 9-race championship. We've had guys miss races. In fact, Tyson Fresquez 2014 in his championship, he won 10 races but missed 2 main events. So in 5 of the races that he actually raced, he didn't win, but missed 2 main events, won 10 races, won the championship. So in the 450 class, you can get back in there. You can miss 2 main events and still win the title. The 250 class, it's a lot harder to recover from a bad night like that. So some of those guys in the 250 class that went home tonight, probably looking at the end of their title hopes, unfortunately. So we'll see who can continue to step forward, maybe challenge Sullivan tonight. That's all about to start in just a few moments as we load in for tonight's 250 main event from Oakland. Everybody hanging out in chat, having a good time. Looks like we got former series champion Russ Chapman hanging out. Good to see him. Does Hubbard really need to be in both mains? I mean, props, but what do you mean? Let's see what else we got. Zach VB says, met you at the Gas event. Love your work, man. Oh, I do remember you. Yeah. Thanks for coming up and saying hello. Always great to meet anybody that wants to talk, but I do remember meeting you, so yeah, it's cool to see you there. And appreciate you stopping by, watching the streams, watching the content, all of that stuff. All right. Let us get loaded into the server. How about Casey Cochran? Anybody got Casey Cochran for a win tonight? Remember, the winner of Indy 3 last year, so he knows how to get it done. There is Luke Sullivan and his glorious red plates. There's Rasmus Balzer. Steadily qualifies right at the sharp end of the field, but is yet to win one of these races. Thomas Wilcox on the number 22. He knows how to get it done as well. Ryan Pinkerton, a whole shot king so far this year. Tanner Thorson, Jack Gatland, Luke Magnetti, he knows how to run up front as well. Vanderbeek, he's looked saucy tonight. Alex Heckman got in through the LCQ. Oscar Manias. Kyle Crippenter. What? Thoughts on Gypsy? Yeah, real quick. I like Gypsy Tales. I think it's really cool that he's kind of made a good niche with like the podcast video side of the sport, and he interviews some cool people, so always love seeing what he's got going on. All right, here we go. Round 2 of the 250 West Championship live here on Start Your Systems. Let's get those revs up and drop the gate in Oakland. Seth Shirley on the 23 machine leads him into the first corner. He's got a great start, and he controls it through. Shirley picks up the RaceFactorGaming.com Whole Shot Award. Side by side, gets together with Cochran, and they're both stacked up. Huge pile up in the second corner. I see Pinkerton down. I see Magnetti stacked up. There is the 96 of Post. Several others go down. It's Irvine leading at the end of lap 1. Huge turn of events right from the start of this one. And we've got a whole different cast of characters out front. Daniel Irvine leads, Lucas Shortner in second, Oscar Manias in third, Wilcox in fourth. What an absolute chaotic start to this one, as the 52 atom.com Gas leads him around. Many riders down in that second turn chaos. I see Cochran looks like he has got his way into 6th place in the early runnings of this. Just going across the start straight in the background right there. So nice recovery. How about this one for Daniel Irvine, though? If he can maybe get away early, set himself up to potentially win tonight. Boy, would that be something as Shortner, little mistake in the background, but gathers it nicely. I believe Shortner's actually out of Germany, so cool to see some more foreign flair than we talked about in the heat race up here battling it out. Oscar Manias, the rider out of Spain, also having a good night so far. And Shortner going to work on Daniel Irvine for the race lead. Double, triple down the inside. Shortner takes it over. The JIBR number 311 coming all the way from Germany here tonight. Takes over the race lead in Oakland. So as gnarly as it would have been to see Irvine win, Shortner, a 3-digit foreign rider, now leads here in Oakland. Got a lot of time left to work with, but looking pretty good so far. Nice recovery right there. So Shortner leads at the end of lap 3. Irvine second, Manias third, Wilcox fourth off the side of the track. Regroups but gets taken down. Austin Schaefer goes down with him. Schaefer's going to let, I believe, teammate Jack Gatlin go by. Magnetti pulls up alongside as well. Look at Magnetti. Nice cut underline right there on the 19. Makes it happen. Bar to bar through this rhythm lane. But controls it into the next corner and will make that pass stick. So Schaefer falls back. Here is Riley Hewen. Chris Post, he was down in that melee as well. Casey Cochran has slipped back a few more spots, so perhaps another fall-off crash for him. Thomas Wilcox, remember he was running in that 4th spot till that crash in the sand section moments ago. Seth Shirley, he got the whole shot. Then he went down with Cochran going into the second turn. Maxime Vanderbeek is back here. Here is your championship leader, Luke Sullivan, entering the whoops in 13th. Boy, has he got a lot of work to do, and he just made even more work for himself as the 47, that was Brandon Nygren, plows over him. And Lucas Shortner is pulling away out front, 2.5 seconds. Now it's even bigger, 5 seconds, as it looks like Irvine may have just gone down. Yeah, Irvine picking himself up from a crash in the rhythm lane. Now finds Riley Hewen on his back door as they battle over 5th place. So we'll go back to our race leader. Look at the gap established. Lucas Shortner has a whole whoop section. What a story this would be. And I would have to check the annals of history a little bit here to see. The only name that comes to mind is perhaps Yannick Blum. Might be the only German rider to have won a Race Factory Gaming North America main event before in MotoOption Supercross. But I don't know. This would be fantastic for all the Germans viewing back at home. It is super early in the morning there, and their man is leading about 5 minutes into this race. So lap time check, because got a request in chat. 1 flat 0.5, 7.8 second lead for Shortner, a 102.4 for Manias, but he's all over the place in this rhythm section. Must be going to Carl's Jr. or Hardy's, because he is looking like he's got that all over his face as well. Luke Magnetti, I should say, thinking of Luca out front, has moved into 3rd and arguably could be the biggest threat to Shortner out front of the heavy hitters. Magnetti running a strong pace at a 101.2 right now. It's not matching Shortner, but at the very least, Good enough pace to perhaps get around Manias right here, and he will do so with an outside line. I'll tell you what, Schwartner must have went down because he's right in front of these guys. So Schwartner coughs up a huge lead, and suddenly it's down to basically nil with Magnetti coming up from behind. So can Schwartner regroup well? Magnetti, the number 19 Adept Creative Co. Yamaha. He has experience running out front, battling for race leads. But Schwartner probably does as well. To be this good coming out of Europe, I'm sure he's raced EU events. Doing a nice job so far. I didn't see where he went down. I'm guessing maybe the first rhythm section. Was that Magnetti, or excuse me, Sullivan flipping in the background? Somebody was just flipping off the track. Schwartner going through the whoops, carrying good momentum. Magnetti is certainly knocking on the door of opportunity right here. So who's going to make it happen? We'll go on board with Magnetti. 1 flat .3, a 1 flat .5. They both just ran their best laps of the race to pull away. Magnetti is just trying to get a little bit closer before I think he tries to make a pass attempt. Or is it still early enough? We're about halfway through. Is it early enough, though, that he considers just waiting Schwartner out just a little bit? We've already seen he's made one mistake. He's coughed up a lot of time. Will he have another mistake in him? Magnetti is certainly looking feisty. 1 flat .4, 1 flat .2, so Schwartner picks up his pace by 3/10 and opens up another 2/10 on Magnetti that last lap by. Magnetti very close, flirting with the edge of the track right there. Losing a little bit more time in the process. Schwartner seems like he's kind of dialed it back in. These two have absolutely gapped the rest of the field. It is Hewen back there in third right now. Daniel Irvine stays the course in fourth. Cochran has now found his way back into fifth. Gatlin sixth. Manias seventh. Balzer comes through in eighth. Kyle Carpenter in ninth, but just went down, so Sullivan moves up to ninth. Excuse me. Oh, we have a new leader. Not sure what happened, but Schwartner just missed the finish line jump. And Magnetti has gone to the front. Luke Magnetti leads here in Oakland. He's got about 6 minutes and a lap left to go. Just got to settle into a pace now. He knows he's got the speed, but also can't back off too much because Schwartner has pace in hand to perhaps run with our race leader. And another thing to factor in is we're probably about 4 minutes away from these guys hitting a big group of lap traffic. Oh, Schwartner down! Got into the tough blocks and he's off the side of the track. That'll be a huge advantage for Magnetti, who's got a sizable margin to work with now as Schwartner gets going. Just as Irvine and Hewen get there. Oh, Cochran jumps up the inside and puts the 52 of Irvine down. It also took Schwartner down. So Cochran makes the pass to go into second place. Adept Creative Co. 1-2 right now, with the 93 of Hewen on his Galaxy number 93 Yamaha right there in third. How about a 3-for pass, though, by Casey Cochran, with all those guys making some mistakes through that rhythm section. And he just shot right down the inside and made it happen. Great move for the 20. Scrubs down off the triple there. Lot of time in hand, though, for race leader Luke Magnetti. Let's do actually a little run through the field right here as Magnetti crosses the finish line jump. And we'll look at everybody coming through. Look at the time gap. But it is still Cochran back here in second place. So here comes Cochran down through. It's going to be Cochran right there over the line in second. Hewen in third. Schwartner now fourth. And I think Manias fifth. Irvine sixth. Balzer seventh. So this is Gatland in eighth, which means Sullivan over the line right there is now in ninth. 10th is Seth Shirley. 11th for Chris Post. There's Ryan Pinkerton in 12th. 13th right there. That is going to be Kyle Carpenter. And is this 14th right here? Is that Gable perhaps? Couldn't see the number. But our race leaders are making their way back around. Ooh, Heckman getting together there with the 62 machine. And there is our race leader, Luke Magnetti. Quick little run through the field, taking a look at gaps. Magnetti, cruise control out front, though. Battle for third starting to heat up. Schwartner has picked up the pace. Hey, he's picked up his face. It was on the ground. It fell off. But he's picked up the pace, and just as I say that, he goes down. So Hewen gets away clean. Oh, Balzer down too on the 37, so Mania's going to get a couple spots. Goes up to fourth. Schwartner picks it up in fifth. So Balzer now sixth, Shirley seventh, Irvine eighth, Post ninth. Sullivan has slipped back to 10th. Not a good night for the 11. It's going to go up to 9th as Post is off the side of the track. Oscar Manias has avoided the chaos quite well, though. Cool story with this DP26 KTM program. I didn't know about this last week, but have since learned about it. I guess Danny Pedrosa, who is a long-time MotoGP racer, he now tests for factory KTM in MotoGP. I guess he plays MX Simulator, so he's raced some amateur races and has put a team together this year. That is what this DP26 KTM program is. He's got a couple Spanish riders on board with the program. Oscar Manias, rider out of Spain, on this team. And trying to give them already a terrific result, knocking on the door of a podium here, perhaps. But cool to have Pedrosa involved. New users to watch MotoOption Supercross will also not know about the connection with Arminas Jasikonis, the former factory Husqvarna rider in MXGP. And he ran a team in Sim for many years. I'm not sure if he's still involved with that program or not, but Leclerc rode for him for a long time. So just kind of cool to see, these kind of big name athletes in these respective sports getting involved in a little bit of the esports actions. We're seeing it more so with the car racing side. Roman Grosjean has his own esport team and many others as well, but just cool to see the moto side of it as well. Oh, Hewen just went down out of third. That is going to be advantage for Manias, who goes up into third now on the 43. Schwartner also went by as Cochran weaving through some of the chaos. Magnetti 13-second lead, and it looks like he is just going to miss clipping the time this time through. 20 seconds left on the clock. Yeah, he's going to have a little bit of time left over. Officially, it looks like it was about 10 seconds left on the clock. So there's 2 laps to go here in Oakland. Magnetti, 13-second lead, going to have 2 laps to work with here. It's his teammate Cochran behind him in second as well. Schwartner has got around Manias, so he's back up into third. Doing a very nice job right here of recovering from a couple of mistakes. And even if he is not able to win this race, which I'm sure at one point he thought was definitely possible, Still ending up on the box would be a big deal for him. But of course, Manias wants that spot as well. So with the white flag about to wave, kind of looking through the field if we see any more battles brewing out there on the track. Where's Sullivan now? Sullivan is battling it out with Pinkerton for P8. And the white flag has now officially waved for Luke Magnetti at the front. Here is Sullivan. Pinkerton, contact, and Sullivan gets stood up. Nice job to recover. Usually making a pass right before the whoops is not ideal because you get a terrible drive into the whoops. Even if you make the pass stick, as Hewen just went down with a lapped rider. Was that Tanner Thorson, perhaps? Battle for third is still intensifying down the stretch here, but this is the man of the night. Recovered nicely. I don't believe Magnetti actually made the main at A1. In fact, I was watching it back, and I do not believe he was in the main last week. So what of a turn of events this week for him to come through and dominate here tonight in Oakland. Luke Magnetti, main event winner here at the Coliseum. What I'm hearing, though, is unofficially Casey Cochran with this second place finish, barring any more disasters behind him, with Sullivan trying to get through as Cochran crosses the line in second. He should be our new points leader. Fourth at the opener, second this week. Schwartner on the box. Manias ends up in fourth. Seth Shirley ends up fifth. Riley Hewen sixth in this one. Pinkerton gonna hold on for seventh as Irvine gets collected, and Sullivan ends up eighth. A little bit of a last turn takeout right there. So Rasmus Balzer looks like he's gonna round out the top 10. Excuse me. Thank you for the correction. Luke got 14th at A1. So not a good night anyway. I think that's 8 points. Pick up for 14th. Post, Vanderbeek, Schaefer, and Gatlin. Last guys on the lead lap. Let's take a look. Cuts. Some shuffling around. Sullivan drops to 9th. He originally finished 8th, but looks like Irvine shoots up into 8th now from 9th. Sullivan goes back to 9th. The rest stays the same by the looks of it. Luke Magnetti, big winner tonight here in Oakland. That is huge for the Adept Creative team, and that man right there, the number 19 of Luke Magnetti. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for round 2 of MotoOption Supercross live here on Start Your Systems. 450 main event coming up here in Oakland. Just like the 250 main, wide open, I feel like, in this 450 class. Leclerc could win. Carter could win. I mean, Carter looked great in his heat race. Got all the way back to 2nd from 19th, so that was huge. Gosh, who else? Lang has looked good. Jeremy Smith in the mix. Seabolt could win. So many names to go through, but only one guy can actually win tonight. And I'm going to ask you guys in chat, what do you guys think is happening tonight? Let us know in the chat section below. Who is going to win this main event? Because I am lost. It seems like any one of these guys could come out on top. It has been a better night so far for Carter after the qualifying debacle. Internet going out, didn't get in through qualifying, but then got in afterwards, was on the back gate. So it's been a little bit confusing, but man, crazy night so far. Crazier night still to come. 450 main event action. We got a Leclerc in chat. Ryder69 says Leclerc. Racer Rat says Carter. Panda Plays is going Seabolt. Reese Harris thinks Tyler Shields from 4th in the LCQ's got this. Mike Smith, Carter by 9 seconds specifically. So he is He's picking things out very specifically here. Saru wants Seabolt to win. Jalen White with Seabolt as well. 04, Mr. Dynasty got Carter. Jarvie has Carter. Jay-Z Joker is going for Lang. Peter Bannister wants Braden to win. Man, picks are all over the board. Again, no idea. There is Lang, Caleb Hall, Colt Mitchell, Jaden Wilson, Payson Johnson. Johnson can win. Shields, Jeremy Smith, Eagland, Seabolt, Seth Carr, Austin Eklund, Devin Davis won a heat race tonight. Chase Donovan, Kevin Gonzalez. There is Braden Carter, and there is Alexis Leclerc. New threads for Leclerc this week. Are they winning threads? We're about to find out right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 450 main event time here in Oakland. Leclerc momentarily getting stuck in those Davlos bales. Ooh, little tire tap off the on-off. Looking saucy is the 7. Oh boy, this is going to be a fun one. Our only trip up to NorCal this year, and we found ourselves in the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum for round 2 of MotoOption Supercross. Let's get the revs up and drop the gate in Oakland. Pretty good jump Carter, better jump Lang. Outside Leclerc swoops in. Lang and Carter down in the first corner. Leclerc hole shot. Alexis Leclerc picks up the RaceFactoryGaming.com hole shot award. Carter was down with Lang in the first corner. Looks like Lang just got going. Carter 14th as Leclerc leads Johnson, Eagland, Burns, Hall, Jeremy Smith, Bryce Whelan, Jaden Wilson, Matthias Janis, Tyler Shields with a good start. He's up in the mix. Chaos out front. Who was it? Oh, looks like it was Eagland off the side of the track. Leclerc stays up. So this is exactly what Leclerc wanted to see, and it was not Eagland. Eagland is still in second place, so it was one of their teammates, I think, that went down. Cheeky little inside move there for Leclerc. Trying to see where is Carter. Lang is up to 10th now. Seabolt finds himself 11th. Trying to look for the red number 1 in the background. Wow, he is almost dead last. Maybe 19th at this point. Look at that line from Leclerc, too. Busting the big boy lines out. 18th, Carter. Lap 1 of this race. Incredible. He's going to have a lot of work to do. So Leclerc leads him through. Eagland now dealing with some pressure from Trevor Burns, who's looked pretty strong here tonight. Excuse me. Oh, yes. Payson Johnson went down out of 3rd. Thank you, Alligator, in chat for reminding me that Johnson was up there. Look at this. Burns, triple, double. I don't know. I think maybe the triple single out, he gained a little bit more time back. Carter, 17th, though. This is going to be a sludge through the field for him. And there's so much talent mixed in right here. Look at, there's Leclerc, Eagland, Burns, Hall, Jeremy Smith, Tyler Shields, Tyler Lang, Matthias Janis, Jaden Wilson, Jeremy Seabolt, Kevin Gonzalez, Payson Johnson, Joseph Pilsner, Bryce Whelan, Austin Eklund, and then points leader, defending champion, Braden Carter. A lot of work to be done for the number 1. Makes a pass right there, though, to get around Eklund. A couple more guys ahead of him. Teammate Bryce Whelan, Joseph Pilsner, Gonzalez, and then Johnson off the front of this group. Johnson just hit some tough blocks, slowed him way down. Kind of slowed all of that group way down, so everybody checked up pretty hard. And Carter trying to take advantage. Look at how close all these guys are, though. Almost 3 wide through here. Is that Eagland down? Carter into the bales. And no, is Jaden Wilson down. So Carter kind of a wash because he got Wilson, but then lost a spot again to Oakland. Loses touch with that battle that he was just in, though. We'll check in with him a little bit later on. Back to our race leader, the Frenchman. New to Panini Motorsports this week. 4-time national champion, 1-time Monster Energy MotoOption Supercross champion. Oh, Leclerc almost through the front door right there. He will have his heart in his mouth now after that one. Oakland now getting away from Burns just a little bit. And it's Hall back there in 4th. There's a little bit of ground right there, though. Didn't get the rhythm lane very smooth. So here comes Jeremy Smith and Tyler Shields. Tyler Lang also getting up into the mix as well. This second round in a row where Lang is coming forward the entire time. But he had to start this time. Is down. Goes to 33 of Caleb Hall. So several riders, I don't know how he didn't collect anybody else. That was some luck involved. Oh, and then just as he gets up, Bryce Whelan hits him. Here comes a whole group of riders, including Braden Carter. So you can see Hall, who's just in 4th place, goes down once. A little bit of contact when he gets up and ends up back here with Carter. So there's not that much separation just yet in this race. Everybody's still pretty close. We got a rider down over here. It is Oakland. Oakland off the side of the track out of 2nd. And, oh, Lang gets together with Shields and goes down. They were trying to avoid Oakland, who was re-entering the track, who I think that was a safe re-entry, but those guys obviously right there as well. And Lang bites the dust because of it. So that allowed Siebold to gain several positions in the process. Oakland now right behind Jeremy Smith. Trevor Burns is in 2nd. They're all chasing Leclerc, but here's a little 3-rider battle to watch. Smith, Oakland, Siebold. Looks like Oakland and Siebold both made a little mistake, so Smith able to open up a little bit of a gap. Of course, Smith being on my team, I was able to talk to him a little bit more after his main event last week, in which he ran 2nd for a long time, but eventually faded all the way back and finished outside of the top 10. And he essentially said he's just kind of getting the cobwebs off a little bit as he loses a spot there to Oakland. So once he gets rolling, he feels like this pace that he's running up front can be consistent enough that he'll end up on the box at some point in the season. Might even be tonight as he battles for 3rd between himself, Colby Oakland, and Jeremy Siebold. Leclerc now boasts a 7-second lead on Trevor Burns as these 3 dice for position for 3rd. Janice back here in 6th. Shields now 7th. Oakland battling it out with Carter for 8th. But Carter done well to move all the way up to 9th. And remember, he had to come from all the way back in his heat race to get up into 2nd. Trying to do the same thing here. Now makes his way into 8th, and he still has 13.5 minutes plus a lap to go. And he's sub 1 minute in the lap time department. So looking comfortable there. A rider down on the outside right here. Is this for position? Trying to see who it is. It looks to be Jeremy Smith getting up from a crash. 59 flat Carter last time through as he closes up on the number 4. Ooh, Carter scrubbing out to flat off of that double. Not checking up at all to try to downside the landing of that one. So he and Jeremy Smith kind of going back and forth a little bit here. Smith not as good in the whoops as Carter, who goes all the way up into 5th gear, down the inside and makes the pass. I'm going to stick on board with Carter just because I want to see what his lap time is here. Then we'll go up front and see what Leclerc's running as comparison. But Carter in traffic, 58.7. Wow. Anybody even running that? 58.9 Oakland, 58.7 Burns. A 58.8 for Leclerc, so 58.7 looks to be the mark right now. Carter and Burns have both ran that. Leclerc 59.6 last time by 5.2 seconds. How about Trevor Burns, though, getting in the mix here? Running fastest lap of the race. About to put the 6 of Colton Mitchell a lap down. Rough night for the Covenant machine right there. Down in 21st place. There is Eaglen still in 3rd. Siebold right behind him in 4th. Janis in 5th. And Tyler Shields with now moving up to 7th on Oakland is Jeremy Smith, actually. I thought that was Carter, but looks like Carter's lost a little bit of ground to these guys, so perhaps a bad lap this time by. It's going to get around them, though. It looks like Oakland and Smith went down together. Yeah, 103.6. I mean, better than anything I could do, but when you're running 58.7s, that's certainly an off lap. So not sure if Carter maybe went down a little bit. Little tip over at one point. He's going to go down now. He's off the bike as well. Little hard on the landing right there. Going to lose 3 spots as Oakland goes down again. Whelan, Smith, and Lang went by. Back to our leader, Leclerc here, checking in close to the halfway mark. And still lurking back there, Trevor Burns. Not letting the 7 machine go. Just coming through the sand section there in the background. Still about 5 seconds down. Leclerc looks pretty flawless, but maybe just a little bit of a tick off in terms of pace compared to what Burns has been putting down. Almost through the front door was Colby Eagland. And then Siebold. So everybody's kind of spread out right now. Gives me a good opportunity. Let's go ahead and give you guys a run through the field. And this one tonight brought to you by R Jerky. They've been a long-time supporter here at Start Your Systems. Believe that this code still works. If you use the code SYS20, that's SYS20, you get 20% off your order at R Jerky. Got a fresh batch from the boys this past weekend at Anaheim. Gonna go visit RJ and Robbie again this weekend in Oakland. Say what's up as I usually do. As Leclerc, big mistake. Gonna land off the side of the track, but a nice recovery. That'll lose some time though for sure. Let's see. Actually, not really. Burns is still about the same distance. All right, so run through the field here real quick. Leclerc on the Panini Motorsports number 7 still has Safe Moon in his name, but they'll fix it next week. Trevor Burns on the Adept Creative Co. number 28 runs in 2nd. 3rd for Colby Eagland on the number 24 Panini Motorsports Yamaha. Jeremy Siebold on the number 18 Panini Motorsports First Turn Films Yamaha runs in 4th. 5th for the Underground RC number 14, it's Matthias Janis. 6th for Tyler Shields on the Phil Ski and Snowboard number 86. 7th for Tyler Lang on the Underground RC number 5. Defending champion points leader Braden Carter runs in 8th on his Phil Ski and Snowboard number 1. 9th for Payson Johnson, Panini Motorsports First Turn Films number 51. And rounding out our top 10, Bryce Whelan on number 45, Phil's Ski and Snowboard Honda. 11th for Austin Eklund, the Galaxy First Turn Films number 241, going off the side of the track and a coffin up to Seth Carr, who goes into 11th now. He's actually the number 35 on that Underground RC Suzuki, but riding his teammate T. Lang's bike tonight. Jeremy Smith jumps into 12th on his Start Your Systems Heckman Productions number 4 machine, as Eklund jumps back to 13th. Caleb Hall, 14th on the Underground RC number 33. 15th for Devin Davis, the Adept Creative Co. number 31. 16th is Joseph Pilsner, number 79 First Turn Films ride. 17th for Jane Wilson on the 25 Panini Motorsports Yamaha. 18th for Chase Blakely on the 21 BPC Kawasaki. 19th is Colton Mitchell, number 6 Covenant Gas. 20th for Chase Donovan on the Pro Line Designs number 81. 21st for Kevin Gonzalez on the Adept Creative Co. That is the number 92. And Dylan Cavacuti is not going to finish tonight's main event. He is our sole DNF to this point. So back to our leaders. Leclerc checks in out front. At a 59 flat, 59.1 for Burns, it's still 4.6 seconds in it. But somehow, some way, that seems like it's a lot closer than 4.3 seconds now. Leclerc is going to hit some lap traffic here shortly. So we'll see whether or not that comes into play at all. 3.9 seconds now. Trevor Burns. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, just like last week with Tyler Shields, I would be a little bit surprised to see Trevor Burns win this main event, but right now he sort of has the pace to do it. He is keeping Leclerc honest. Leclerc has a bit of a past with these second halves of the main event. Burns pushes the front wheel over, loses a bunch of time right there, but maintains second place. It's Blakely that moved in right there, and now Matthias Janis has moved up into third place, so he got around Eagland and Seabolt. Eagland looks like he went down as Seabolt checks in fourth place now. Eagland drops back to fifth. Tyler Shields running strong in sixth, and Carter's moved up to seventh now. T-Lang back to eighth. I think he just went down as well. Whelan ninth, Johnson 10th. So it's kind of going back and forth a little bit here. Oh, and Burns has now slipped back to this group. Janis moves up to second. So just as I was singing Trevor Burns' praises, looks like he has either had a double fall off or a fall off and a long slide out of some sort. 6 minutes and a lap left to go in this one, as we approach the conclusion of the Oakland main event here, round 2 of MotoOption Supercross. Into the whoops. This is 4 riders nose to tail battling for second right now. Janis on the 14, Seabolt on the 18. Oh man, Seabolt, little kick there. Burns on the 28, and the 24 of Eagland now just off the back of this group a little bit. But this is going to be a good battle for second. I think Janis might just be a tick off in terms of pace when it comes to Seabolt and Burns. But he's a cagey guy. He will fight these guys hard. Look at Burns. Around the outside of Seabolt. He's going to have to square it off. Likes to back out of the challenge. Rider down coming into this section as well. Looks like they just got going though. And they're trying perhaps to get out of the way of Matthias Janis, as now kind of the battle for third has more intensified, more so than the battle for second. Looks like that is Colton Mitchell. These guys are lapping. Into the whoops we go. It looks like Carter's actually moved up into sixth now. And Seabolt, just as he was getting caught by Trevor Burns, is now starting to slip away just a little bit from him and reel in Janis ahead of him for second. Look at the speed they're carrying through that sand section. Look at how dug out that corner is getting as well. Janis not tripling there anymore. Whoa, Janis, little slide, but recovers nicely to hit the rhythm lane smoothly. These guys have just kind of stayed nose to tail. Not really any fluctuation. Something's got to give with these guys, though. It's been 4 laps of the same thing between them. No real wiggle room. Oh, there's Eagland going down in the background. Is that enough now for Carter to make the pass? He's coming through the whoops right now. He's going to get to Eagland, but not quite. So now this is slowly becoming who is going to walk out of here with the red plate. Carter's not going to win this main event, but if he gets up to third, he'll at least be tied with Leclerc for the red plate. Oh, man. Backed out of the challenge. And, of course, if he gets to second, a 1-2, will beat a 3-1. He will keep sole possession of that red plate going into the next round. I do know that Panini already has a red plate bike built for Leclerc, so no new skins updated right there for me, which I'm very thankful for. But this battle for fifth kind of intensifying a little bit. Carter trying to find his way through on Eagland. He's been so good in these whoops, but just not enough right there to get inside to make the pass. So Leclerc's gap, 12.9 seconds with 2.5 minutes and a lap left to go. Unless he crashes. Looking pretty good right now for the 7 as this battle continues. Janis has kind of stepped away just a little bit now from Seabolt. Seabolt's kind of stepped a little bit away from Trevor Burns. And here's Carter on Eagland. Oh, he may have cut tough blocks right there. That is not going to sit well with Oakland. But clearly, Carter just wanted to get that pass actually done. Kind of sick of waiting around on it at this point. So here's Leclerc checking in out front. Under 2 minutes left. His pace has stayed pretty steady to this point. 1 flat 0.1 at this last lap by. Down to 11.9 seconds. Thing with that is he can still crash and keep the lead, but it'd be close at that point. So anything a little more than this, once you get down to 11, 10-ish seconds, it gets dicey with a fall-off crash. So next time through should be 2 to go there for Leclerc. And he's working through the lap traffic very well. Actually doesn't have really much left to contend with in these closing laps. He might hit 1 more, maybe 2 before this race is over. And a 59.4, so pace-wise, he's comfortable. It's really going to come down to whether or not he crashes in these last couple of laps. There's 2 laps to go as Janice finally makes a mistake. He slides out before the whoops, but still holds on to second place because Seabolt wasn't close enough. And Burns now right there behind those guys as well. If these 3 get together, Carter is going to get second place because he is just off the back of these guys. He just entered the sand in the background. So this battle for second place is going to determine a lot championship-wise going into next week. You also have Mitchell on the 6, a lap down, just right in the thick of this group, but he's trying to, split lines. Janice and Seabolt side by side. Seabolt a little bit short, backs out of the challenge. And short again for Seabolt. So Janice sneaks away, at least for the time being. Look at how chaotic it is in the background. And actually, Carter's lost some time. So he's no longer right behind this group. 5th place looks like the best we will expect out of the defending champ, as Mitchell is pushing Seabolt, finally goes down. Those 2 are former teammates. So this battle for second's coming down to 1 lap. Leclerc has already taken the white flag out front, 14.5 seconds. Janice trying to pick up a second place here. Great turnaround ride for him this week. If he can get up on the box here, trying to lap Jeremy Smith. So go through this rhythm section one more time. Looks like Janice got it pretty clean. Seabolt has lost some ground. Meanwhile, this man out front. Boy, about 3 months ago, nobody really knew what Leclerc's future in this game was. Was he going to retire? Was he going to come back? Well, he's come back in a vengeance. Oakland Supercross, welcome your winner, Alexis Leclerc. Round 2 goes to the 2018 champion. As Janice brings it down, he will indeed hold on for second. A narrow edge, 1.4 in the end over Seabolt, who gets third. Trevor Burns at one point looked like he might have a shot at winning this race, ends up 4th. Colby Eagland actually gets back around Carter to get into 5th, so Carter's going to end up 6th. He will lose the red plate. That is going onto Leclerc's bike this week. As Carter crosses there, P6. Payson Johnson will get 7th tonight. Good rebound from missing the main event last week. Tyler Shields, 8th, so he remains top 10 in the points, no question about it. Tyler Lang now 9th. And Austin Eklund, last guy on the lead lap, he is going to get 10th. Whelan was 11th, 12th for Seth Carr, 13th. Devin Davis, actually, let's go through and look at cuts. Anything changed? Oh, yeah, Seabolt gets around Janice for second. So Janice with 2.1 seconds of cuts loses P2. That goes to Seabolt. Your big winner, though, Alexis Leclerc. That stays the same. Let's actually finish going through these guys real quick. Devin Davis ends up 13th. Jeremy Smith was 14th. 15th, Pilsner. 16th, Blakely. 17th, Hall. Mitchell, 18th. 19th, Wilson. 20th for Donovan. 21st, Gonzalez. And, of course, Dylan Cavacuti did not finish this main event. First man to not finish it. That's going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is our show. MotoOption Supercross from Oakland is now done. Coming up next week, though, we'll be back right at the same time, same place, 6:15 p.m. Pacific, 9:15 p.m. Eastern, for the San Diego Supercross and MX Simulator. That's going to be a fun night as well. Looking forward to seeing the action at my home race. I'm from San Diego, California, so always a little bit more near and dear to my heart to have the San Diego Supercross coming up. But Oakland is now behind us. Leclerc, big winner on the night. He will have the red plates with him next week going into San Diego. And in the 250 class, Casey Cochran going to be the points leader, though he has not won a race this year just yet. 4-2 so far in the season. That's going to be enough for him to get the red plate. Our two winners, of course, Luke Sullivan and now Luke Magnetti, going to come into next week a little bit more fired up as well to try to get that red plate away from Cochran. But a lot of ups and downs on the night. In the end, though, of course, big congratulations to Luke Magnetti and Alexis Leclerc, big winners on the evening. And, of course, a shout-out to all of you guys that tuned in and watched the broadcast all night long. We're up to over 600 viewers for the 450 main event again, so appreciate you guys stopping by and tuning into this broadcast. One final shout-out to the Race Factory Gaming track crew for putting this track together. It was a little bit late, I know, today, but still kudos to them actually getting it done, getting it out. And, of course, all the sponsors involved, Phil Ski and Snowboard, MotoOption Clothing, Underground RC, Race Tech Suspension, ourselves here at Start Your Systems, OGL Paco, MXS Lobby, just tons of people involved helping out with Race Factory. And of course, on our side, personally speaking, thanks to R Jerky and Heckman Productions for helping put on this broadcast. And thanks to all of you fine folks again, like I said, for tuning in. We are out, and we'll see you guys next week for the San Diego Supercross in MX Simulator. So long for now.